A few more housekeeping type deals for your setup. I'm going to go ahead and get out of Windows. I'm going to close all of these, show you how to do that. And get out of that, and get out of that. On the W tablet, I would recommend that you set up a shortcut on your desktop so that you could find it again instead of trying to scramble and find it. I've actually put several shortcuts for things that I feel that I may want to change in the future on my desktop. So here's one right here. The easiest way to do that is let's see here. I'm just going to go to open file location. Easiest way to do that is just, for instance, let's go back one, just for giggles. Go up, and then find that W tablet, and then I would right click it, send to desktop, create shortcut. That's the easiest way to do it. Therefore, you know it's on your desktop, and then I would move it somewhere. All right, got that out of the way. Taskbar, really important. You notice here that I've got the regular keyboard here. Right now I've got this keyboard, and I can't see the normal keyboard because that one, the access, special access one, is open. So I close the special access, and now the regular keyboard pops up. Okay. There we go. So the regular keyboard, I pinned it to the taskbar, and this is how I did it. Is bring over the taskbar, just anywhere that's blank in the taskbar, just right click with a mouse. And it's really important when you're doing all of this that I'm showing you right now, setting up your Surface Pro, I would have a good 3-button mouse. It's going to be important. Because it's a lot easier to work with than working with the pen interface. So I would have the keyboard after you have updated your Wacom driver. Then I would hook up the Surface Pro keyboard again. So therefore you'll have the full keyboard and you'll have the full mouse while you're setting everything up. It'll be a lot easier to work with than the pen. What the goal is on all of this is to actually be able to use the pen to do everything in Cinema 4D and the pen to do everything in Illustrator and Photoshop or any program that you use, instead of carrying around a mouse, instead of carrying around a Shuttle Pro. I use the little Shuttle Express Pro, or Shuttle Pro Express, or Shuttle Express Pro. Is actually really handy, but the thing is I'm trying to get it to where I can do everything with a pen. So go to wherever your taskbar is usually at the bottom. As a matter of fact, I think in factory setup it's actually always exposed. It's never hidden. And just go to a blank spot, right click with your mouse, and then I would go to Properties. Now, with the Properties, auto hide the taskbar is the first thing I do, because I'm trying to create as much room as possible for which to work, and I don't need a taskbar getting in the way. And it's really easy. Whenever I move it to the point where the taskbar is, the taskbar appears, and then when I move off, click off, it disappears. So I have my taskbar located on the left. To tell you the truth, it's normally set up on the bottom, and the problem is on certain programs I was having an issue where I would dip my pen down. It was especially on Photoshop. You have those little tiny little menus at the bottom on the right, like a new layer, a new folder, also special effects and stuff like that, layer effects. They're so tiny, and you're trying to reach the pen down there, and the taskbar kept popping up. So that's why I moved it to the left. Tell you the truth, I might want to move it to the right. But you know, it's just something to experiment with. So you change that here. You can have it at the bottom, left, right, or top. Let's see here. Okay, navigation. Jump list. And here's the important part. Toolbars. When you go into toolbars, I have the touch keyboard checked so that every time I come over here, there's the touch keyboard. Now, another thing. Remember when I told you that little shortcut, Windows, volume up? There you go. That pops that up. Let me see what happens when I do this. Okay, that's what it looks like there. And if you right-click it, you can pin. Right now it's unpinned because I've got it pinned to the taskbar, so it always shows up on the taskbar. That way, when I close it like this, it doesn't disappear. If I had it unpinned from the taskbar, if I closed it, it would disappear from the taskbar. And the only way I could get it back up without delving into all the menus is hit the window button at the bottom of the screen, hold it, and hit the volume up. That way it appears. But I wanted to keep it up all the time, and so I just right-click, pin this program to the taskbar. And you could do that with anything, to tell you the truth. You just have to get, when you see it open in the taskbar, just right-click the emblem, the icon, and hit that pin to the taskbar, and that way it'll always show up whether the program is open or not. So now I can close this, and I can still click it up whenever I want. And that's going to be important later, because when you start modifying the buttons with AutoHotkey, what's going to happen is that sometimes overrides, like the button, the little window volume up, it overrides that, so it doesn't pop up the little assistant keyboard anymore. And this little assistant keyboard is going to be very handy because it can help you if you want to go ahead and do shortcuts. Your keyboard shortcuts, you could do it with that. With me, mostly because I tried to get everything set up with the hardware buttons on the Surface Pro and everything on the 2-button mouse with the eraser. It gives me a total of 3 buttons on the pen and 3 buttons on the Surface Pro to play with. So there's 6 buttons that I can use for all my shortcuts, and it actually works pretty well. It's not perfect. I wish I had one more button. I always do. You can do combinations, but I have found that so far to be a little wonky, and we'll get more into that when I'm doing AutoHotKeys. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize that, and that is that. Let's go to AutoHotKeys, because we will want to play with that. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is where the site is, AutoHotkey.com. There's your download button. Go ahead and download it. This is a really nice setup. The cool thing is what it allows you to do is you can actually build. People are doing their own little menu overlays, like button overlays over their programs. So Photoshop, they can have a button overlay with all their tools that they use, because you'll find that the UE elements in Photoshop are tiny when you have it on a Surface Pro. I have a couple of workarounds for that. Actually, one of them that I've come up with, and another one that, again, SurfaceProArtist.com first reported, where there is a hack, and it actually it's pretty good, to tell you the truth. I've done it on an Illustrator, haven't done it on Photoshop, but we'll cover that later. So I would definitely highly recommend downloading AutoHotKeys. This gentleman here, Michael, on, I'm not even going to pronounce that, icasa.decahedron.com. Very good, because what he has done is, with the Surface Pro, he has actually set up everything for AutoHotkey, and he tells you the different codes that you will need to make your own buttons. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you what I've done as far as the programming, and all you'll have to do is just copy it into an AutoHotKeys setup and go from there. So what I would do is go ahead and download the AutoHotKeys, and we will go from there.